guys. Welcome back to Delusional Diaries podcast. I'm Halley.
And I'm Jaz.
And today I wrote you a little intro.
Oh.
We have someone whose work has genuinely changed how millions of people think, act, and move through their lives. Mel Robbins is a best-selling author, one of the most widely booked speakers in the world, and the creator of the Mel Robbins Podcast. She's the mind behind the viral 5-second rule, the high five habit, and most recently, the let them theory, which has taken over TikTok and helped so many people release control and find more peace, including ourselves. Clearly, you guys have heard us talk about this a lot. Thanks so much, Mel, for being here.
Thank you.
No, we're so excited.
Yes.
So are we going to talk about last night?
Yes, that's
Okay.
what I was just going to say. So you walked in and you said, were you at the tanning place last night?
Yes,
Sugar
I
Bronze?
was.
Okay. So I didn't realize it was you when I walked in. You were like leaving as I walked out. And I when I go to the tanning place, I'm not looking at anybody because I look terrible. So I was just like head down in there. And then I heard the girls after you left being like freaking out. Like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe it was that Mel. And I'm like, oh my gosh, wait, that must have been her. But I didn't realize it was you at the time.
Well, for some reason, when I walked in here, I'm like, wait a minute.
I recognize that
I think I
face.
saw you last night.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you get a spray tan?
Of course.
Okay. Yeah.
Are you kidding? Like,
Yeah.
otherwise, I look like a bloated, blanched, sort of like
We always say,
kielbasa
like-
or
Same.
something this time of year.
Same. What level did you do?
2.
Okay.
But just a 1 pass on the face.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
I do a 3.
You do?
Yeah.
Where is it?
You know, okay, I know. I feel like it
'Cause
shows
look,
up.
we're like,
You were really pale
I
though
was
prior to
really
this.
pale. I feel like it also shows up different on
You
everybody.
do a 3 on your face?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I heard that it's not apparently like the level of darkness. It's like the tone
The
of
undertones
it.
of
So
your
it's-
skin.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it actually
And then do you sleep in it?
yes, I
Me
do.
too.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't want to do that at a hotel, and let me tell you why. Because it looks like somebody died
I
in the
know.
bed. That happened to me the last time I was in New York. And I'm like, I'm just going to let this marinate in because I've got daughters that are 26 and 25. So they are my guardian angels towards tanning and all
Yeah.
things beauty. And my daughter in LA was like, you got to bake it in. And I'm like, okay, great. Well, I'm a menopausal woman that basically sweats all night.
Okay.
And so I turned myself in that hotel bed into a hot pocket
Oh my gosh.
where I baked off all the beaten walnut juice into the sheets. I was so embarrassed. I stripped the bed, left a note and $20 for
Oh
the
my
person
gosh.
who was
Like,
gonna
I'm
do it.
so
And said,
sorry.
I'm so sorry. I ruined the sheets. I
That-
don't know what I'm doing. I swear to God, no animals or people were hurt in this. I just got a spray tan.
That is so funny.
Yeah, she got me into it, and I was like so nervous the first time I went. I was texting her like while getting it done, like, "Is this okay? Can I do this? Can I not do this?" And
Yeah, because you
It's a
really do
lot.
have to follow like the aftercare
Yeah.
instructions or it won't turn out very good.
So what is your biggest, do you have like a hack for a novice like me? Because I'll tell you one of the mistakes I made. You ready?
Not moisturizing?
No, worse.
What?
I got a spray tan and I then baked in it, right? Slept in it. That's what I'm going to marinate in this. I did not realize that I sleep with my hands.
Oh
my
no.
body.
No.
you left
I-
marks.
Woke up and my hands, last time I did this, were the color of your pants.
Oh my
which,
gosh.
If you're listening to this, are basically brown maroon
Yeah.
and could not wash it off my hands
Yeah.
for the next like 2 days. And I was doing all these interviews. And so I look, you know, I'm sitting on my hands like this on the Today Show, hoping that I don't lift them up because I talk with my hands
Yeah.
because they looked so
Oh.
stupid. And they also sucked all the tan juice
Yeah.
off my thigh and went to my palm as I was sleeping overnight.
Did you sleep in like shorts?
No, I sleep nude.
Okay, that's the
Is
problem.
that too much information?
No, not at all.
but
We've
that-
said far worse.
Oh
on this
yeah, you don't
podcast,
even
trust
know.
me. But that's the problem. You have to sleep, and I always sleep because it also prevents it from like getting all over your sheets and stuff. Like I'll sleep in a really thin like pair of like Everjay pajamas that are long sleeves, so and like long pants because I don't want that to happen to me either because I've had
Got
that
it.
happen
Okay.
as well. Yeah.
So moisturize.
And
Anything
moisturize
else I need to
after.
know?
No, I feel like-
a good exfoliating beforehand.
yeah,
Did not do
exfoliating
that.
before it.
Okay.
That helps it, like, stick and stay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the moisturizing after I think helps it stay and fade off your body better. So
But I
Those are
feel
my
like
tips.
everyone goes through like a period of like, oh, I didn't know this, and it's a learning lesson.
yeah. Okay, I feel like we have to like give you a little intro into how we know let them
Yes.
and like explain to you because you probably don't even know the lore. But basically, I was at an influencer dinner and a bunch of girls were talking about how they like deal with hate and everything like that. And I was saying how I really struggle with what other people think about me. And they told me to read the book, Let Them. And I'd never heard of it before. I picked it up, and I'm going to be honest, I don't read like literally ever anything, but these girls really, they did their job. They influenced me, and they inspired me to read a book for the first time. And I read this. And then I told Jaz about it.
Now, what'd you think though? As a person who does not like reading books, it's not your go-to.
I loved it. Like, I truly, even just the words "let them" like really changed our lives. I mean, like, I think you do a really good job of taking this like complex kind of idea and bringing it down to like really simple, actionable solutions. But it's funny because like Jaz doesn't read either, and she bought the book. She didn't open it for.
I didn't. It took me a very long time because I'm just like not motivated to read, and reading puts me to sleep.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, having it just on my shelf, I was like, let them. And every time I'd be upset about something, I would just say it all the time. Just having it in itself just helps.
Well, I love that because, you know, as we're talking and you're watching and listening, you're going to learn everything. You're going to learn a ton of stuff. If you want to go deeper, you can get the book. If you're sick of people in your life because other people are super annoying, give them the book. I'll change them for you.
Yeah.
But I love that because one of the reasons why this is spread around the world is it's for all of us. It's about what's universal, but it becomes deeply personal because you use it all day long because the number one source of stress is other people, what they think, what they do, their expectations, their moods. And it is an immediate downshift from the stress that other people cause you.
100%. We actually like, I feel the first time we didn't know Let Them yet. One time Jaz.
I had a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
I woke up,
Oh, yeah, from drinking.
Yes. I was so anxious, was at her house, and I woke my husband up at 3 a.m. He's like, he's like, people hate you every day. Like, why do you care right now? And I was like,
yeah, she was like waking the whole house up, like just making it everybody else's problem. And he said to her, like, people hate you every day. He was just like, I want to go back to bed. People hate you every day.
And I hate you right now.
Yeah. Literally.
Shut up and go back to sleep.
I feel like that's kind of the same thing as Let Them. And then we started like using that, and then we got to Let Them. But it was like, people hate you every day. Like, why do you choose to care right now?
In this moment. I think it's become more of like an affirmation thing. Like, just saying it constantly has just really changed like the trajectory of the amount I care about things.
Well, here's what I love about what you're sharing. What I love about what you're sharing is that you can try something like saying let them, and then the second part, let me. And if it works and you start to use it over and over in any situation where other people piss you off or stress you out or hurt your feelings or throw hate your way or just bother you or just generally annoying, the coolest thing about this is that it's a boundary. And it's a boundary that you erect with 2 words, let them, that protects you from allowing dipshits online to occupy space up here. It protects you from allowing other people's moods and expectations to drain your energy in here. And the more you say let them, and you remind yourself, I can't control other people, so it is a waste of my precious time and energy to try to do so. I'm going to claw it back and use that time and energy for something that matters to me, that's more productive. The more you use it, the more at peace you feel, the more powerful you feel, the more you realize you do have time.
Yeah.
And you do have energy. You've just been stupid like I was, and you've been burning through it with meaningless stuff and people that don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And like it's creating a habit of like creating boundaries in like every single area of life, I feel like.
Yes.
I feel like that was like the number one thing my dad instilled in me when I was younger. I would go to him with like a complaint, and it'd be like a girl problem where I want my mom to just like validate me. But my dad would always be like, why do you like, you cannot control what other people do. Like, you're stressing yourself out so much over this. And I kind of started to realize that. And I feel like now I've kind of always lived my life being like, all right, embarrassment's a social construct. Like, I only choose to feel embarrassed. Other people can't make me feel embarrassed. Like, nobody can make you do anything.
Here's the thing that is important to understand. This is a little bit of a nuance, is that we're not in control of our emotional responses. So we are relational human beings that have never been given the skills to truly understand how to connect and relate to other people. And the number one skill to understand is you can't control another person. You can't change another person. People only change when they're ready to change for themselves. People are going to do all kinds of shit to you in your life that will cause feelings of embarrassment, that will make you pissed off, that will make you feel like life is unfair. And when you say let them, you're not allowing it to happen. You recognize that this is what's happening. And now you say the let me part. And this is the important part, because here's where the nuance comes in. I don't want you to ever make yourself wrong for feeling hurt or embarrassed or sad or angry, because the emotions that you feel are out of your control. Emotions, this helped me a lot when I was researching the book. Emotions are a chemical explosion that happen in your body within 6 seconds of something outside of you happening. And we can't control. Like, there are times where somebody has said something in a meeting and I don't respect the person, but I'm so fucking pissed off and I feel the volcano erupting and I do not want to show this person that they have gotten to me. And the more in the old days before let them theory, would then be like, fuck, like, manage your face. The more the emotion built. When I say let them, it's wild, because you can have emotional reactions, whether it's embarrassment or it's anger or it's hurt or it's sadness or whatever. And when you say let them, this lever gets pulled inside you because you're immediately letting go of what you can't control, and you're recognizing this shit out there just triggered anxiety in me. And then the let me part becomes, let me just let the embarrassment rise and fall. Let me just let the anxiety rise and fall. And the research is also clear. If you don't react to or suppress emotion, within 90 seconds, most of it rises and falls. And then you can choose how to respond. And so your dad is right. And in the operating system, know that you're going to feel all kinds of stuff you don't want to feel. And if you can learn to tolerate that the emotion is rising and falling and just let it, and then wait till it goes away to respond, you will be the scariest person in any room. You will be unstoppable. You will never waste your time sending an email this long because you're pissed off at work. You will be so in control, it will shock you.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of that impulsivity comes to like responding to emotion like that. And that's where usually typically I regret things that I do, is when I'm in the heightened anxiety or embarrassment or anger. And then I'll like do things I ultimately regret. So I think that's a really good point.
Well, and I'll give you an example. So just yesterday, something went down and there's all kinds of crap going on. And a person misinterpreted something that I wrote in an email. And a person, like a member of my team called and said, well, so-and-so, like their feathers are ruffled. They're all upset about something. And my immediate reaction was, that motherfucking idiot. I do not have time to like placate to some man baby who's upset that I like, and I took out my phone. I didn't say let him. I took out my phone. I started texting the thing that feels so good. And Lynn on my team reaches over and kind of grabs my wrist and is like, don't send that.
But did it feel good to write it or no?
It did. And I am so happy I did not send it.
Yeah.
I am so happy. And I share that story because even when you have tools like the let them theory, you are still a human being that will have emotions, and other people are super irritating and they are going to trigger you.
Yeah.
And there will be times where the words come out of your mouth before you can shove them back in, or you hit send before you can catch that delete feature or whatever, on the text chain. And that's okay. You're still going to be okay. But the more that you can practice just this, let them, and just give up control of other people, recognize when you're in a situation that's triggering you, take a second and then go, let me remind myself of my values. Let me remind myself of the ultimate goal here. Because not only did I not send the text, but then once I did the let me part, I picked up the phone and called the two people on the team that had called me to say this person's feathers were ruffled. And I apologized because I screamed at them. And they're not the person that I'm mad at. I just took it out on them.
Yeah.
And so what I love about how this has changed me is I still have all those big emotions and big feelings, but I'm in control of the response of them. And they used to run me over. I used to be, the kind of mom that would snap at you as a kid and then blame it on work. I used to be the kind of spouse that, had this like very just rude tone of voice and then would give kind of a half-ass apology. And again, blame it on how stressed I was. And I am not that person anymore. Like it ekes out every once in a while, but I am so fast to clean it up.
You're self-aware in that sense.
Oh, beyond.
How
So I don't want to be that person.
How long did it take you to get to that point, though? Like I'm a snappy person. I'm the first to admit it. I made a challenge of like the past 30 days, like of October. I did not snap once. Like I made a conscious choice to like take a beat to avoid snapping.
Yeah.
But like, how long did it take you to get to like a consistent point to where like
Shockingly fast. I'd say a month or two tops.
Okay.
Tops. Because once you experience the level of peace and presence and calmness and fucking power that comes from understanding that everything out there, what other people are doing, what's happening in the world, the headlines, your parents' mood, everything out there does not have to impact you the way that it does right now.
Mm-hmm.
You just feel like you can make decisions, that you're in control. You understand how often your entire day is other people's emergencies and not your priority, but you're the idiot saying yes because you're like, all day long. Let people email you. Let them ask for stuff. Why do you have to get back to them today? Let me choose what's actually important today and let you wait.
Yeah.
And I will get back to you when I'm ready.
Yeah. I feel like when you're in control of your emotions, you have the power. But then when you like let go of those, then other people have.
I'm going to give you two, and you as you're watching or listening, an incredible little challenge to do this week. If you're interested in feeling more at peace, if you're interested in not being a psycho in relationships, and I say that as a former psycho, if you're interested in not feeling anxious and having like emotional hangovers all the time, I'm going to give you a challenge. Okay. And this is something that my daughters, I have two daughters, one's 26 and one's 25. The 26-year-old wrote this book with me. The 25-year-old is the one that drove her almond-shaped fake nails into my bicep and squeezed, let them do what they want at the prom, which kind of started the power of those two words for me personally. And it's something that we've been working on that our incredible therapist, Ann Davin, has challenged us to do. And this will be a little thing you can do that it's shockingly powerful. You ready? If your mom is in your life, if your mom's alive, if you have a relationship with your mom, she is likely your blankie. She is likely who you vent emotionally to. For the next week, I want you to challenge yourself. And I want you to, first off, if you're a daily texter, if you only text mom, I miss you, I miss home, I'm bored, I love you. If you only text, or if you're upset, you're like, oh, to mom, and then a friend walks by and you're like, oh, hey, how you doing? I want you in that relationship, because it's very safe, to call your mom and say, hey, I'm working on feeling more secure in myself. I'm working on getting a handle on my emotions. I'm giving myself a challenge. I'm only going to text you once every 3 days. And I'm doing it not because I don't love you. I'm doing it because I want to notice how often I reach out when I'm actually emotionally upset. When I'm bored, when I'm lonely, when a friend has upset me, when I feel insecure about my career, when I don't know what to do, when I just feel a little lost. And you will start to notice there's a person in your life, maybe it's your dad, maybe it's your mom, maybe it's your sister, maybe it's your significant other, that you are using this person as a way to settle emotions. It's kind of like when you're a kid at a playground, you'll notice that kids run out into the swings or whatever, and then they run back to mom, which is really important behavior because you're home basing yourself. And then you run back out and take another risk. But what I think is happening a lot, particularly with young women in high school and college, and especially in their 20s, is that you're experiencing a lot of change and anxiety. and you're anchoring your stability to another person. And this is a little exercise where notice you're nervous because the person that you're interested in hasn't texted back in 24 hours. So then you call your mom and you start complaining about something else because you can't sit. You're smiling, Chaz.
No, it's just funny. Keep going. I'm intrigued.
Because you can't sit with this feeling. And this exercise is really cool because it's not about your mom, it's about you. And it's about your inability to locate your power within yourself. And the first part of it is this awareness that you're doing it to your boyfriend, to your girlfriend, to your sister, to your mom, to your dad. And doing this challenge, you don't even have to tell them if you don't do it. I'm going to go 3 days. I'm not allowed to text them unless it's a real emergency. And I'm just going to see the emotions that rise up. And here's what my daughters and I have learned. They were mostly reaching out when something was wrong all day, like most days. And when they did this exercise, I'd say it took a week for them to feel so much more powerful because they had this awareness of how often they were attaching their stability emotionally to another human being. And in those moments, instead of texting, they could sit in their car and be like, I don't actually miss home. Like, I just am having a hard day.
Like regulating your own emotions.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because what we started to notice is my husband was having very different conversations with our adult kids than I was. And my husband and I would get together and be like, oh my God, did you hear about what happened to so-and-so today? He's like, I talked to him yesterday. Everything's fine. No, it's not fine. And there's people in your life that you do this with. And that's not to say you shouldn't call people when things are upsetting and when you need support. But it's this tiny little thing, because you asked me how long did it take for me to recognize in myself, and I did it with the let them theory, because I don't want to be an angry person. I don't want to have the worst be what I am for the people who are the best in my life and then blame it on work. That's laziness. That's like abuse in my mind. That's horrible. I wanted to get control of this, so I was highly motivated. But if you're curious about anxiety levels, if you're curious about why you're anxious in relationships, if you're curious as to why you're feeling super homesick or you just can't, try this little exercise, because it's going to force you to sit with yourself and calm yourself. And you're going to realize very quickly, oh, I can have my own back. Oh, I'm actually not that homesick. Oh, I'm actually okay. I just do this quick little venting thing.
It's like a habit.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do.
But it
constantly.
keeps
Same.
dysregulation a habit.
Yeah. I feel like I'm always looking for validation from other people instead of just validating it myself.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's not to say that validation doesn't feel good. It's to say that you'll never be able to ride a bike on your own if the kickstand's down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't realize this thing is there. And I'm not responsible for this. This was something that, our therapist challenged us to do. And I was like, wait, what do I do wrong? And they're like, it's not about that. It's about, and so when
you say our therapist, do you mean
all three of us have the same therapist.
Okay.
It's amazing. It's amazing. She only works with women.
Okay.
And she works on the modality. She's a depth psychotherapist. The modality of the wounded daughter, which means it's all about how we daughters basically cut off our own hands in order to get the love that we need from mom and dad. And then we wonder why we can't find our own agency and power out in the world. It's because we gave it away a long time ago. And that's nothing related to whether or not you have a great relationship with your mom, whether or not she was amazing. This happens to everybody. Your mom had this experience with grandma. Grandma had this
It's like a
experience.
cycle.
It's a complete cycle. And it's incredible to learn how to stand in power with your daughters and with your mother instead of standing in that dynamic of mother-daughter power struggle that is always there in every relationship. But once you become 18 and you're an adult, it can be a tricky thing to navigate, as you're starting to build your life and your identity and the things that you want out in the world. Isn't that a cool idea? What are you both thinking about that texting challenge?
The texting challenge?
Yeah.
I think that's you bring up a really good point, because that's what I do 24/7. You're basically describing my life. I feel like
That's why I
whenever
was smiling.
anything goes
Same.
wrong, I call my mom immediately. And I think sometimes I am always looking for my mom to just validate me. And sometimes if she doesn't just completely 100%
Then you're pissed off.
stand with me,
Yes, and I'll hang up.
I'm so mad
Yes.
at her,
Yes.
even though maybe she's even right. I just wanted her. I already had my mind made up before I called her, and I wanted her to just.
Can I tell you what that feels like as a mom, at least for me?
Yeah.
It feels like your life is a train wreck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm your dumping ground. And if I give you an observation out of love based on everything you're telling me, I'm now getting punished.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's 100%.
We both
Yes.
do.
Yeah.
Yes. And you can change that.
Yeah.
You can change that by noticing when you want to call. And that's a very natural, beautiful instinct. I want to really acknowledge this is a beautiful thing
Mhm.
that you are deeply connected to your mom. And I'm telling you, you can become even more deeply connected out of power
Yeah.
because there's so much going right in your life and you don't share that with her.
Yeah.
Yep, this is true.
No,
And you are so much more capable of handling everything.
Yeah.
And instead of the habit being go outside, have the habit be go inside first. And if it's a true emergency and you call Jazzy and be like, okay, so is this something yeah, this is something you can call your mom. Okay, great. I'm calling my mom. But try an experiment where you just take 3 days and you can tell her, I'm trying something, mom, because I'm trying to like become a little bit more confident and assured in myself. And I know I vent at you and I'm sorry. And I really want to learn how to stand on my own 2 feet a little bit more so I can share the better parts of my life with you.
Yeah.
And then when you reach out when you're in a great mood.
Yeah.
Reach out when there's something good to tell her.
Yeah.
Like it changes that I'm still there for the horrible stuff. But now as a mom, I'm trained too that you're winning. I'm trained and I'm getting to celebrate with you. I'm not just the dumping ground. And then you get mad at me when I'm trying to help because now you've worried the fuck out of me because you keep calling and I think I need to hop on a plane and fly to where you are and fix all this because you're in breakdown. You're like, no, I'm not in breakdown. Like not you. This is like, I'm talking about, I don't mean to, but I don't mean to like caricature you. And I think this is a very, very real mother-daughter dynamic because we are both power you draw from and the ground that your feet are on. And at the same time, you have to push off the ground in order to take flight, but there's a way to fly together.
Yeah. That's such a good point.
Yeah.
I feel like we even do it to each other.
I was
where
just
we
gonna
call
say
each
that.
other and vent. And like the other day, I remember you called me to vent about something and I kind of like pushed back on one thing you said and you immediately hung up on me.
What was it?
I don't remember what we were like. It was just something dumb, but you were like not happy with me about that. And then you called me back a couple of minutes later and you're like, sorry, I just am feeling like you're doing the same thing as my mom or you're validating me. I don't even think I was disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
Could you, here's another thing you can do. These are advanced relationship skills. You ready? When you're so angry or upset or because when you're picking up the phone to vent, right? And venting is a very healthy thing if you're doing it for a reason. If you were to develop a habit of just saying, hey, I really need to vent about something. Do you have the space for it right now? That right there changes everything.
Yeah.
Because you've now cued me that this is a dump. So it's sort of like when a friend gets super drunk and they're sick. I think I'm going to get sick. You warn the person.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to throw up on them. You want help getting it out. And then your girlfriend hears, oh, you're about to get sick. Okay. So then we get to the side and we hold back your hair. And then we rub your back and we go, anything else? Is there anything else in there? Okay, do you feel better now? Now we know the role that you need. And you know the role you need. So that sentence, hey, I really have to vent. I'm super fucking pissed off. Do you have the space for this right now? Yes, I do. And now I can do it and I can know my role.
You guys know I'm a huge fan of Clear Stem. I personally have struggled with hormonal cystic acne over the years, so I'm very picky when it comes to what I use for my skin because I do have sensitive skin, but Clear Stem has been absolutely amazing. I've had no issues. I've actually had the opposite. They've been so incredible and really transformed my skin. I love using their Bright Me Up toner. I've talked about this so much, but truly my skin has never glowed more since using this toner, and I had really not used toners in the past, so I was very unfamiliar, but this is such a gentle, great approach if you've never used a toner before. I also love their bounce back serum. It kind of gives you that really nice, tight, post-tox feeling, if you know what I'm saying. Just really helps firm your skin, and it looks so good. Clear Stem is backed by rigorous scientific evidence. Their products have been clinically shown in third-party trials to effectively improve breakouts within 4 weeks, with further improvement over 12 weeks. Unlike other skincare brands, Clear Stem is dedicated to both product safety and efficacy. Discover the Clear Stem difference, because clear skin changes everything. Go to clearstem.com/delusional and use code delusional at checkout for 15% off your first order. That's CLEARSTEM.com/delusional and code delusional for 15% off.
My role. Another thing that changed my life as a parent in my marriage is when you're getting puked on emotionally by somebody, ask when they're done, do you want advice or do you want me to just keep listening?
I feel like you do that.
I did start this recently because my mom used to irritate me. I would hang up on her so often.
Yeah.
And she was like, were you just calling to say that? Or did you actually want my help? And I was like, wow, I don't always want your help. So
No.
and
99%
so it
of
helped
the
our
time,
relationship a lot.
99% of the time, you do not want the help.
Yeah. But I wasn't always aware of going into the phone. Like, I was subconsciously, but I wasn't making myself aware of what I really wanted. So that doing that has helped me with like everyone in my life. Like, hey, I want you to listen, or I want you to.
Well, you know, the interesting thing is that at some point, because I think calling and venting at somebody and then hanging up on them is wildly emotionally immature.
Yeah.
And it's because that has happened to me a lot. I'll explain it from the mom situation. You feel like you just got the right and left hook.
Mm-hmm.
And then we worry about you to death. And then we think we did something wrong. And it is amazing if you start using those tools with her, because then you can get what you need. Because what you want is reassurance in those moments. And, you know, you grew up a long way from here. You're taking on a lot and you're doing a great job. And it's hard not to have your family nearby. It's the worst. What's coming up for you? Because I can see you're getting emotional.
Jeez. I almost I cry a lot. No, it's just interesting. Like,
it's not interesting.
No, it's the fact that like I argue with my mom a lot. We had a rocky relationship.
Yep.
And like it's like I wasn't very nice to her for a very long time because I resented her a lot.
Okay.
And like that's why we're working on our communication or whatever. Just interesting and it's just like
Well, hold on. Here's what I want to point out that's beautiful. You ready?
Yeah.
Underneath the resentment and the rocky relationship are two people who want to get along. And it is so common to have a mismatch with people in your life. It's so common to feel like, why can't we get on the same page? Why is it so difficult? Why are you so angry? Why is nothing I ever do enough? Like, you know, I'm sure everyone that's listening and watching has had these lines said or said them themselves. But let's start with the truth that is beautiful. You want a beautiful relationship with your mom. You want to feel understood. You want to feel seen. And one of the things that I've learned from my oldest daughter, Sawyer, is that we had so much conflict. You want to know why? Because that brought me to her. The more she pushed me away, the more I kept coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And so start with the good. Start with that you love your mom, even though she drives you crazy. Same. My daughters say the same thing. And you wish it were more fun and you wish that you guys could communicate better. And there are things that happened that you didn't deserve. There are things that probably need an apology. And that's the truth. And there's always a way. If two people can do the work and two people want to do the work, to change the dynamic in terms of how you communicate. Always.
Definitely.
Always. Every mom is waiting. Every mom wants the invitation from their daughter or son to make the relationship better. The first apology is the first one.
Yeah.
And if there are things that you need to be like, Mom, I was a real asshole. I really regret that. And one of my goals this year is I would love for us to work together to make this relationship work for both of us.
Yeah.
And you could do that. And if she doesn't want to do that, then that's a different thing that you're going to have to grieve and deal with.
Definitely. I think my mom is ultimately like my best friend, even though we definitely argue a lot.
That's why she's your best friend.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I always know though, like, okay, my mom loves me and just wants what's best for me, but sometimes maybe she's trying to take control and she's not just saying let them, and she's like trying to push me towards doing what she wants because that's what she thinks is best. And I'm like, well, I'm going to do what's best for me. But I ultimately have to remind myself every time I feel like it's her first time living too. Like, this is her first time being a mom. Like, I'll probably make the same mistakes along the way.
The thing to think about, there's only ever one woman that is your mom biologically.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like I feel it's really interesting because my daughters and I talk about this in terms of like best friend versus mom. My daughter Sawyer works with me. I hate it when she calls me Mel. I'm like, please call me mom. She's like, I cannot call you mom at work. Like, I'm sorry. I'm the director of marketing. I'm not calling you Mel. And every time she calls me Mel, I'm like, oh, don't call me Mel. I'm your mom. I feel like your mom can never give you objective advice. And the reason why is your nervous system, like you are inside of us. We will always have that instinct to want to protect you.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the advice we will give you, we don't even realize subconsciously that the protection piece is in it.
Yeah.
That's why we often feel like we sound like idiots, or we sound as if we don't understand, or we sound like the thing we're saying is obvious, but we will always think about the bad thing that could happen because we want to protect you. And that's why I think we're a little bit irritating, or very irritating, because that protection instinct, which comes from loving you,
Mm-hmm.
is in direct conflict with your desire to grow and change and take risks.
Yeah.
Like when my daughter, Sawyer, for example, wanted to quit her job in marketing in a massive international cybersecurity firm. She'd been there for 3 years, worked there, for a couple of years during college. It was an incredible job, kept getting promoted. She's like, okay, I've saved the money. I'm quitting. I'm going solo backpacking across Asia on my own for 5 months. I was like, no, you're not. And she's like, this is my dream. I'm like, this is my nightmare. And every single piece of advice I gave her was rooted in my fear that something bad would happen.
Of course.
None of it was helpful. All of it felt like a giant turd on her dream. All of it felt like I was completely out of, well, you don't follow the influencers that trend. I've been to this and I've met, and she was right.
Yeah.
And so that is kind of one of the reasons why you're always going to have conflict with mom, because you want to dream and grow and be an independent person. And we so desperately want that for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot turn off this mechanism that goes, please do not kill. Please do not get dragged off by some stranger. Please, please do not get hurt. Please don't go through the breakup that I did. Please don't get the venereal disease. Please don't do this. Please don't do that. Please don't do the other thing.
Of course. Because you've lived this whole life and then you're trying to protect them from what?
Correct.
My mom says the same exact thing. I also feel like sometimes I take our relationship for granted because there's such a level of comfortability there that's like, I know I can say whatever to her. I can hang up on her. I can yell at her. I can be mad at her. And she's ultimately always going to be there. Like, there's no wrong I can truly do because I'll never ruin our relationship. But sometimes.
Is that true?
I mean,
if you stop and think about it.
It's not. You're right.
Yeah. Like, I just want you to consider, and I'm not here to make anybody wrong. I've just been in the thick of this. Writing this book with Sawyer healed our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
We had I was probably the world's most annoying, loud talking, foot stomping when I walk, chewing person. Everything I did crawled up under her skin and lit her on fire. And I just wanted to be close. Why can't we get along?
Yeah.
Right. And I talk about this openly because she has talked about this very publicly, very openly. And the let them theory and learning to say, let her. Every day when we were writing this book, we were above the so because she comes home from her trip. She did not die, changed her life. She comes home. She was broke. And I'm like, I see an opportunity. Because my dream, I've had a dream too. My dream would be to have a family business because you know how fun those are. And this was Sawyer's worst nightmare. She was very clear in her career the one thing she didn't want. She never, ever wanted to work for her mother. And so I said, look, I know you don't want to work for me. I and with me. I respect that. I love that you want to carve your own path. And you need money. So I have this research project. I've written the first draft of this book. It sucks because at that point it was just let them. There was no let me. I hadn't figured out that part yet. And I need some research done and I'm going to pay somebody else this. You don't even have to talk to me. You can report to Tracy. You got 4 weeks. This is what I'm going to pay you. I want you to look at everything you can find about what people are writing about, you know, this theory I'm talking about. And I want you to look at the emails and the comments. And I don't want to know what people love. I want to know what they don't like. I thought it would take 4 weeks. She came back a day and a half later with a 28-page spreadsheet in Excel, color-coded, drop-down tab member. It was the first time I'd ever seen her brain on paper. I'm like, oh, now this makes sense. You have so much horsepower up here that if you don't have something to aim it at, you aim it at yourself, you aim it at me. Oh my God. And I'm like a bunch of mice running around a restaurant. Like I just am everywhere all the time, scattered. And she said, you can't write the book. And you can't write the book because if you just look at your mom or your sister and you're like, let her. First, you feel really good because you're like, fuck her. Like, I don't like her. My mom's irritating. Let her. But then you're like, wait a minute. This doesn't feel good. I feel lonely. Like, I feel disconnected. Mom, you can't write the book. I'm like, what do you mean? I have to write the book. She said, well, there has to be a second part then. I'm like, what's the second part? She said, obviously, it's let me. Because once you stop giving all your power to other people, you take it back and you decide what you're going to do. And that was it. She lived at home for a year. We worked together every day. We wrote 11 versions of this book.
Wow.
We fought every day because I would come upstairs and she would be like, okay, we're going to start on page 73. And the part about this and this story, nobody my age cares about that. And the science, I can't understand it. You got to explain it like nobody cares. Like, and I'd be like, well, that's just not how this works. Like, you can't just pick a page and then we'd start bickering. Don't use that tone of voice. Oh, for God's sakes. We got that. Don't boss. And then I'd get in a huff or she'd get in a huff. And one of us would then storm down the stairs going, let her. It's fucking book. Let her. Hate you. I hate my life. I like literally.
Yeah.
And then an hour would go by and we'd be in separate corners. And then one of us would be like, all right, it's time to let me go heal my relationship. And then we'd march back up. Okay, I'm really sorry for my tone of voice. I see that you're just trying to get us organized. How about we do this? Can you accept my apology? Yes. We did that every day for 11 months. And that's how we knew this book was going to help so many people because we wrestled through every word and our annoyances with each other. And the result was there is now this space between us. We haven't changed fundamentally who we are, but there's this space of acceptance where if she's in a pissy mood, I'm not all up in her face like, "Wait, what's wrong? How can I help you?" Which only makes her more angry. When I'm in a bad mood, she doesn't collapse into thinking she's the reason why. She just lets me be in a bad mood. And the space that we give each other to just have our own experiences while still standing with each other. It's crazy how powerful it's been.
That's amazing. Yeah.
We still fight. I mean, we still get pissy with each other. We're working on something right now.
Of course.
Like, oh God, we're back.
Yeah. I feel like if you don't fight though, do you think that means that you don't care about a relationship if you don't fight at all?
No. I think that if you don't fight, it's a sign that you can't deal with other people's emotions.
Okay.
And so you avoid them by staying silent.
Gotcha.
Like somebody that is avoidant that way or silent or shut down or does the thing, they still care.
Yeah.
They're afraid of dealing with your emotions.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you think a healthy relationship needs fighting?
I think it's important in life to know how to have a constructive fight because
Yeah.
you will never get along with anybody all the time.
100%.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, we have talked about that in like our relationships and stuff.
But here's the fundamental rule of relationships. You can either be connected to somebody or you can be right.
Mhm.
You can't be both.
Can you elaborate?
What just happened?
You can either be connected to somebody or what'd you say?
Be right.
Be right.
If you want to be right, then you want to win an argument.
Okay.
If you want to be right, then you will stomp on the other person to get them to agree with you. If you want to be connected to somebody, then all the problems that you face is something that we can work on together.
Yeah.
But if every problem is, I'm right, you're fucking wrong, I'm smart, you're the idiot, I know best, that's not a relationship, that's judgment. That's power, that's dominance.
Wow. That's a very good point. I feel like I've struggled with that a lot, like trying to just always be right. I feel like I've come from like my family being that way of like, I'm right, you're wrong. And I feel like I've probably brought that into my relationship as
For
well.
sure. And we all do.
Yeah.
Like, look, first of all, give yourself some credit. Your host, how old are you?
I'm 29.
25.
Okay. I mean, I didn't figure this shit out till I was 54. I think it's incredible that you have a podcast and you're interested in this. I think it's amazing that you're self-reflective. I think it's so cool that you see things about your relationship with your mom. I mean, this is all of us that we would love to have improved, and it makes you sad because you really want it to happen. And, you know, I think that stuff is incredible. The reason why this book has taken off and the Mel Robbins podcast is now the third largest podcast in the world is I fucked things up for so long and hurt myself and hurt other people and brought judgment when I wanted connection. And I just didn't know. I didn't know how to break my habits. I didn't know how things that had happened when I was younger impacted the self-destructive patterns that I was in. I didn't realize how much I was taking shit out on the people that I loved because I thought, oh, they're always going to be here so I can bring my worst home. And I just got to a point where I don't want to be like that anymore.
Yeah.
And so I really hope that as you're listening or watching, as we're talking, I don't sit here feeling like I have all the answers. I feel like I have made so many fucking mistakes and I've caused myself so much unnecessary pain, anxiety, stress, disconnection, hurt feelings. It's just so dumb when you see how much simpler things can be.
Yeah.
But what's cool about what you're doing and what's cool about the person that's with us right now that's listening or watching is you're spending time trying to do better and learning how you can. That is like at your age, my God.
But I feel like the reason that we're able to at a younger age is because we have access to the internet and
Yes.
things where we're able to have
Yes.
that
At
visibility.
your
You
age,
can relate to experiences because people are talking about the experience.
yes.
Where they
At
probably
your
weren't
age,
before.
I would not be caught dead walking into a self-help aisle in a bookstore.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because nobody I knew had a therapist, and I certainly couldn't afford one because we're talking 25. I'm 32 years old. Jesus. I mean, there was no internet, there was no Facebook, there were no podcasts. Oprah Winfrey was the only person on television talking about this stuff in a way that was helpful, not exploitative.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so when you were struggling, you believed it was just you and you had no idea what to do.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm offering up the things that I write about and the stories that I tell, I am offering up as things to consider. The tools like the let them theory that I've created, or the 5-second rule, which I use to get out of bed, or any of the things that I've discovered are things that are working for me. And by sharing them, I just hope that somebody that may be in a similar situation sees something that might benefit them. And it's up to, you know, somebody else to
You
do
should
something.
choose.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I think the main takeaway is if something about your life doesn't feel good, you have within you the capacity and the ability to make it better. through the settings in your mind, through the research that you do, through the different strategies and tools that you reach for and try out in your life, over time, you can make any relationship better. You can make your job better. You can make more money. You can learn new things. You can change your health. You can change the entire trajectory of your life. And I say that not only because I have done it. I have done it. I have climbed out of $800,000 worth of debt. I have basically cured chronic anxiety. I have figured out the weird tangle of knots of things that were running me and untangled it all. So I understood the behaviors I was going to keep and the ones I wanted to delete and upgrade. You can make there is so much possibility in your life. If you're sitting there saying to yourself, it's too late, I'm too young, you're wrong. It's a lie you tell yourself. And I know that because I told it to myself. And I can also say, hosting the third largest podcast in the world with 9 to 11 million people that listen every week, there are people around the world that are dealing with the exact same thing that you're dealing with right now who figured it out, which means so can you.
Yeah.
So true.
Kind of transitioning off of that, I'm about to get on a flight, and I know that you've spoken about having flight anxiety.
Yeah, you ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Venice.
Okay. So the reason why you have anxiety is you are thinking about the plane crashing.
Yes.
And dying and your life being over.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do is we're going to use proven research right now because I have changed this anxiety in myself. And you are going to first start with an anchor thought. And an anchor thought is a picture in your mind of something that's happening in the future that you can use as an anchor when the nerves and the anxiety starts. Okay, you ready? So if you're going to Venice, I want you to close your eyes right now. And I want you to think about something you're super excited to do when you get to Venice. And I want you to describe who is with you. What are you doing? Where are you? What are you wearing?
Okay. I'm going to Venice for the first time, and I'm taking a water taxi, which I know sounds really lame, but I'm like really excited to do that. And
Great. What are you wearing?
my plain outfit that's like all white that I'll probably have stained with coffee and
Okay, great. And is there wind in your hair?
yeah. I think. I don't know. Is it closed or not?
I don't know.
Okay.
You're the wind, you're in the
your
water
mind.
taxi. It's a wooden boat. This
Okay.
is so cool. You're in Venice. Can you kind of imagine buildings and feel it?
Yes.
Okay,
from what
great.
I've seen on TikTok.
And are you excited for
Super
that?
excited.
Okay, great. That's your anchor thought.
Okay.
Okay. You got the visual, you got the experience of it.
Mm-hmm.
What you just did is by visualizing it and marrying it with excitement and trying to feel the senses. The more you can bring in, what are the sounds? What's the vision? What's it smell like? It's wind in my hair. The more you are training your mind and putting a setting in the mind
Mm-hmm.
to that thought.
Yeah.
Okay. Anchor thought. Truth. Number 2, your mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and that anchor thought.
Mm-hmm.
So your mind, in imagining it that way and activating the 5 senses, now has that locked as a very real thing that's happening. That's why this works.
Okay.
So between now and when you get on this plane and when you're on the plane and when the turbulence hits, because it will hit.
Yeah.
I think about it like chop, on the water on
Yeah.
a boat, right? Then it is normal to have that flood of anxiety rise up.
Mm.
Okay. Because you're just in a situation where you don't have control and you're a little nervous. That's normal.
Yeah.
It's normal. Here's how you're going to use this anchor thought with research from Harvard. I think it's business school, and the wiring in your body to outsmart the anxiety. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
So as you're sitting on the plane and all of a sudden it's like, you're like, oh my God. Okay,
Yeah.
you're going to be like, okay, hold on, Mel, talk to me. You're going to count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to put your hand on your heart because it'll settle you. You can take a deep breath. And you're just going to go, I am so excited. I'm so excited to be on that water taxi with the wind in my hair. I'm so excited. Oh my God. I see myself. I'm in the boat. This is incredible. This is going to be amazing. And you're just going to keep focusing on the anchor thought and you're going to keep saying you're excited. Now, let me explain the science of what's happening. If your mind is visualizing that scene in Venice, the plane makes it.
Yeah.
When you say, I'm excited, you are telling your mind that all of the physical symptoms you're feeling, your armpits are sweating, your throat is tight, your hands are clammy, your heart is racing, your stomach's doing this. Those physical symptoms are what happens when you go into fight or flight. Guess what? Those are the exact same symptoms when you're excited.
Okay.
Like think about being at the bottom of the aisle and you're about to see your partner. Sweaty arms, racing chest, butterflies in your stomach. It's the same fight or flight response because fight or flight is you getting ready to do something that's important.
Yeah.
So this has been researched and proven in research, this technique, when you understand the physiology and you have an anchor thought and you use it intentionally, to redirect your mind to the anchor thought and to keep cueing, I'm excited for this thing in Venice, because it gets your mind off the turbulence. And without the anchor thought, your mind goes up and tries to make sense of the anxiety. You're like, we're fucked. This plane's going down.
Yeah.
I'm never going to see my family. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have gone on this.
Yeah.
Why did I let that influence her? Why did I say yes to this thing? Oh my God. Oh my God. And the thoughts make it worse.
Okay. So redirect.
You already have the thought ready to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a positive
And you have
thought.
and more importantly, you have been imagining it with all five senses
You're mentally there.
beforehand. You can mentally switch it. And the cue of excitement is working with your brain to label the feelings as excitement directed at that thought versus you sitting in the plane looking, or the stewardess looks she looks very, very, very upset about something. And,
We
oh
always
my God, the
start blowing
pilot,
the
she just
front,
came out.
yeah.
Yes. No, anchor thought. Venice, I'm there. I'm excited to be in Venice.
Yeah.
Obviously the plane's going to make it. So no problem. The turbulence will be over in 10 minutes. It's just bouncing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It works.
You've just set me up for a lot of success.
Yes. And it doesn't mean you won't feel anxiety, because remember, the emotions you can't control.
Yeah.
These are tools you can use to override the automatic things in your body. And then what ends up happening is over time, you don't get as nervous at all because
Okay.
you've trained yourself not to be.
All right.
Building habits.
Okay. Good to know. I'm going to
Isn't
use
that cool?
that. Yeah.
Have a great time in
Oh my
Venice.
gosh. Thank you.
I'm excited for you. Thank you, you
Yeah,
two.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
coming
so
on.
much.
I want to know what
Thanks for
happens
making me
with
cry
this
today. That
texting
was
challenge.
amazing.
No, I want to know what happens with this texting challenge with your audience. I want you to read the Let Them Theory book. I want you to give this to
I'm
your
going to
mother.
finish it.
I want you to
I started it.
I want you to give it to your mother. And when she's done reading it, I want you to say to her, I would love to talk to you about how we can use this to really make our relationship better, if that's what you want.
Okay.
I think that's a great point.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give it to my mom too.
It's the best gift in the
Yeah.
world because you've been trying to
Merry
change them.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Turn them over to me. I'll
Okay.
take care of them.
Amazing. I look
It'll
forward
make
to it.
your family so much more peaceful and fun, because instead of running around, everybody judging everybody and getting pissed off and frustrated, you just let them. And now it's so much better.
Yeah. Wow.
Things are going to change.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank
Seriously,
you.
thanks for
So
being
great.
here.
Thank you.
See you guys next week.
What?